We are filming today because we need to get our shit together and get some footage for our doc.
Also, here is a mic.
Thank you.
Getting mic'd up. And what's our documentary about today?
Our documentary is about my old neighbor Hart.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Yes?
Hi Hart, this is Liz. How are you?
Oh, hi, Liz. How are you? I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. I left you a voice message wondering if you were free today to shoot. Maybe you haven't seen it, but we're actually here now. I'm not sure where you are, but
I'm upstairs in my room. I can see you down below, but the problem is, Liz, I've got a medical appointment here in about half an hour.
okay.
Just on my way out. I'll be back by probably by 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Could you folks come back at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, we can do that. We could do that.
I can see Riley out here taking pictures, so if you could come back at 1 o'clock, I'll be here for you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, thanks, Liz.
Okay. What's this movie about?
So this movie is basically about Liz's old neighbor, and she just loves him so much. I don't know. She does not really like telling us why, but we're just making a documentary about him. So yeah.
Hey guys,
Oh, Cindy's crashing the shot.
I don't know what this film is about, but I really like Hart, and I think he's a really nice person, and I know Liz has a vision, and we're trying to get the vision to come out.
I think it's also just like a right time thing. Like, when I moved into the house next door in the summer, I was like trying to get to know new people in Kingston and stuff. Like it's my first year here, first time living in Kingston, and you know, he happened to be my neighbor in a funnily similar situation to me. Like, we're both living in big empty houses next door to each other, except I'm a 19-year-old new to the city, and next door is this 80-year-old man who lives by himself. I've ripped up my roots and I'm like completely moving to a new city. I know nobody. I don't have my babushki and dedushki, and I don't have like my family here, and I'm trying to make new roots and I'm trying to make new friends. And he happens to be my neighbor.
Morning, Hart. Добрый день. Thank you. Have a good day, Hart.
And it's so funny to me how many people find that weird. They're like, why are you friends with an 80-year-old? What's wrong with you? Are you like in love with him? Like, no, I just love old people. I just find them to be very sweet, genuine people. They're just really nice.
Sorry, Hart. What did you say our documentary was about?
Well, I thought you said it was about,
You said something funny a second ago.
I said, an old fart who lives in Albert Street and gets to know the kids.
And he was just really kind and neighborly to me. Like, I just got here, and he would, like, bring me raspberries from his garden spontaneously, you know. He would help my roommates and I, like, put out the garbage. And these are things we never asked him to do. He's just really nice. He's just really neighborly. And it was really sweet of him to do that.
Hart, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you a socialist
Am I a socialist? No.
or a communist?
I'm not going to answer that.
That means yes.
No, here, I'll tell you what. There's two anarchists,
Okay.
Emma Goldman and Alexander Berkman. They were Russian, Jewish, American, Russian. When the revolution broke out in 1917, they went back to Moscow. In 1919, they left and went back to New York City because they said the revolution is dead, long live the revolution. And so the whole experiment to create what they called a communist society was never convicted, became a Stalinist bureaucracy. And that was the end of it. And so I refused to answer questions about any kind of political thing. Put you into a silo.
Big part of talking to him was also figuring out my identity in a way, because I was raised in a Soviet household. Like, these people immigrated from the Soviet Union, and I'm essentially from a dead country. My friend put it in a funny way one time. He said I'm limited edition, because literally, like, I was raised by parents raised in the Soviet Union. I've never been to Russia. I've never been to Ukraine. I've never been to Eastern Europe. And it feels like kind of an empty page that I was still trying to figure out back then in second year. And having a neighbor that also happens to sort of speak Russian and happens to have seen the 1980s Soviet Olympics and lived there for 8 months and wrote his dissertation on Soviet Canadian hockey politics, like, that was also really endearing.
When I first went to the Soviet Union, it was not the height of the Cold War, but it was pretty much still the Cold War. And so I'm the enemy because I'm from the West. I've been harassed in Luzhniki Stadium in the park. Somebody derogatorily called me an American. And I'd say hooligan, niet American, Katnatsky, and then go off. When I was first there working on my thesis in 1974, the young woman who's perfecting my Russian at the Pushkin Institute knows nothing about Canada, and what she knows is incorrect. But what I knew about the Soviet Union was also wrong, and my country had lied more profoundly about that country than they were lying about mine.
And it was so cool to have a sociologist, like a retired professor of sociology, living next door to me, who's specifically interested in my culture, which I'm only immersed in at home, and I've never seen for myself outside of home. I think a sweet 80-year-old man who's my neighbor, who's very, very kind. His name is literally Hart, and he lives up to his own name. And all I want to do is talk about how nice and kind this individual is. And everyone's like, but why?
Do you feel like you just had a
But
connection
why?
that other people don't experience because they don't try, or they like?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, if people would stop and slow down and actually talk to their neighbors and were more interested in the people that live around them and people that are different from them, then they would experience more connections like that.
Sometimes very complicated questions, but the answer is very simple. And really what you need to do is use this and make a difference. My friend tells me, do I need a crowbar to put my notes up? Bye.